Hello, I'm Philip Hughes, and I've spent more than 40 years doing research. Now I'm teaching research methods. Whether you're thinking about doing a research project yourself or supervising others, this video is designed to help you think through the basics of best methods for a particular kind of research. Research has been occurring since the beginning of history. It's not a new process. Fundamentally, it's a matter of looking, listening, measuring in order to gain knowledge. It was something that Galen of Pergamon was doing 2,000 years ago, or Aristotle. But we've greatly defined our methods over the past 200 years, so that our knowledge is well-founded and much more certain than it has been in the past. Basically, the method that you choose to do your research should be determined by the outcomes you wish to achieve. What information is it that you want? For what population or what group of people do you want that information? Do you want to make conclusions? Do you want to know what a large group thinks or does? Like all the people in a large city, or all the churches across the country, or all Christians in a city, or all who attend a particular denomination. If so, you'll need a survey, because surveys are by far the best ways of gathering and analysing information from lots of people. And with computers, it's as quick to analyse information from 20 million people as it is from 20 people. A good survey will enable you to look at differences between different groups of people. Perhaps the people who live around the industrial area, or the people who live in the leafy suburbs, or the people who live close to the city centre. The important thing is to be sure that you gather information from all of those different places and proportional to the size of the populations there. And then you'll be able to draw conclusions about those populations. In doing that sort of research, you'll be using quantitative methods. Or perhaps you're interested in groups, how groups operate, what sorts of factors lead to groups that are successful in education, or in giving support, or engaging young people. Do you want to study a number of groups and look at all the factors that are having an impact on their success? And in studying those groups, you may want to observe them and see what happens in them. You'll probably want to talk to the leaders and the members of those groups. Or you may be interested in individuals. What is meaning in life for people today? How do people find meaning? What difference in life does finding a sense of meaning or purpose make? Again, you'll want to talk to people, perhaps just a few people, but at some depth, exploring what meaning in life is and how it operates in their lives. You will listen carefully to the words they use, the ways they think about meaning. You'll record what they say and analyse it carefully. You will be doing qualitative research. There's an important distinction here, which I want to make before we get further into talking about quantitative and qualitative methods. Are you interested just in what is happening, which is really descriptive research? Or why is it happening? And that's analytical research. Certainly descriptive research is an important starting point, but generally it's not enough for a doctorate. Very often it's not enough for a good journal article. Analytical research is needed because that enables you to actually predict more into different situations. But it will involve much more in-depth analysis. Analytical research seeks to move towards the cause, not just some things which happen to hang together as descriptive research does. Now, we can't usually finalise our understanding of the cause, but we can move towards it, and we can do it by research that's driven by hypotheses and testing out those hypotheses, particularly when those hypotheses are driven by good comprehensive theories. And we can use multivariate statistical analysis and quantitative research in order to move towards cause. Regression is a very good method. But let's look into the two basic types of research. Quantitative research, which uses numerical data. Qualitative research, which is about textual data. Quantitative research is usually research that's gathered through surveys and analysed via a statistical program. Qualitative research is collected through recording interviews and analysed via a textual analysis program. Just suppose you want to explore belief in God. Qualitative research through interviews will give you the opportunity to ask people to tell you what they mean by belief in God, how they think about God, what it means for them. Qualitative research has many strengths. People use their own words, and they will explain the nuances of those. You, as the researcher, can ask additional questions to explore anything that is not entirely clear, or where you want additional information. You can put the experience of the individual into a precise context, the person's ethnic, social and religious background. You can note their body language as they speak and the feelings that accompany what they're saying. But qualitative research also has weaknesses. It cannot tell you how many people actually think in similar ways. It's hard to generalise from qualitative research. It actually involves a lot of work analysing your material. It includes coding and categorising what people have said. It's also highly influenced by the interviewer and the situation. I found over the years that people always present their best selves in their interviews. The advantages of quantitative surveys, on the other hand, is that people choose their own categories that they want to be placed in. They decide whether they want to be called atheists or agnostics or theists or whatever. So the analysis is not quite so dependent on the researcher's coding. It's also much easier to analyse large amounts of data from many participants. It makes it possible to generalise to populations. Numerical analysis is less controversial, and it's easier to test hypotheses. And you can study variation easily across different genders, education backgrounds, different socioeconomic backgrounds, and so on. The weaknesses of quantitative research is that people are usually forced to choose an answer which may not fit exactly what they want to say. And you cannot follow up people's individual answers. And you can't take into account individual contexts quite as easily as you can in qualitative research. Okay, what research methods should you use? Again, the fundamental question is, what do you want to know? What do you want to draw conclusions about? If you want to draw conclusions about a large population, such as Australians, then you'll need data from a large sample. You'll need a survey. If you want to draw conclusions about the development of particular concepts or understandings or practices or factors among a small group of people, interviews may be most appropriate. So think through your context, think through what you want to say, and then you can determine what is the best method in order to reach the conclusions that you want to draw.